So recently, I had this amazing opportunity to be part of a writing fellowship and attend a week-long writing retreat out in Bel Air, California. It was an LGBTQ. Don't forget the Q. It's really important. LGBTQ writing retreat at the university, the American Jewish University. Makes sense. So I get all the way out there and I pop open the trunk to take my things out, and I hear someone screaming, "Levan, Levan." And of course I don't answer because I don't speak French. And it kept getting louder and louder, and I turn around and I realize that there are three writers behind me, and they're waving and smiling, and they're like, "How's it going, Levan?" And it was really weird because my name is Phill. Um, just one syllable, no la. And as it turns out, Levan was one of the other three black guys at the retreat. Um, he was, about 6'4", um, dark chocolate skin, beautiful guy, and about 55, 60 years old. So I can see how they how they made that mistake. So the retreat was off to a good start. Um, so the next morning, I'm in the cafeteria with my tray, and I'm faced with this dilemma that has plagued me since junior high school. Where do I sit? Now, no offense to anyone here, but sometimes large groups of white people make me nervous. And so one half of the cafeteria is closed. There are tables stacked up and chairs stacked, and there's some caution tape. And then the other side has about 8 tables filled with writers talking and getting to know each other. So of course, I push through the caution tape, and I go sit by myself. And as I'm making my way towards an empty table with no chairs, I move quickly. I don't look at anyone because I didn't want anyone to do anything foolish like offer me a seat at their table. And then I hear, "Hey, Phill, we can make room for you." And I'm like, fuck. So I turn, and it's Heather, this woman who I had met briefly the night before, this sort of aging ex-hippie chick. If you could imagine B. Arthur dressed in head-to-toe Urban Outfitters. Um, so I plaster on a smile, and I walk over, and the table's already full, and they're gonna have to squeeze in to make room for me, which is even better. And as soon as my butt hit the chair, Heather looks at me and says, "Do you think they'll have fried chicken and waffles tomorrow?" I was so confused. I had just met Heather, and we hadn't had any sort of poultry talk whatsoever. I didn't even have eggs on my plate. Now, in moments like this, I sometimes wonder if I've gone into a trance and become that sassy, pure sugarcane lady from the Popeyes commercial and started reciting lines like, "Come get you some sweet tea," or something like that. But truthfully, I have these experiences all the time where I have to deflect random chicken talk or exaggerated neck movements or pop locking. Yeah, it's not okay to just walk up to me and and do that. It's uncomfortable. Um, Co-workers and colleagues are worse when it comes to that sort of thing because strangers aren't quite sure if you might slap the shit out of them. But the people you work with think you're a different kind of black because you laugh at their jokes and you talk with them about Downton Abbey. Um, a few years ago back at work, I was walking towards the printer. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think I was walking like black or anything. I think it was just a regular old office stroll down the hallway. And as I passed my colleague Lori's office, she screams my name, and I step back, and she's like, "Monday's Martin Luther King Day." And I'm like, I'm getting black holiday shout outs now? Like, what the fuck? So what do you say to that? And I'm like, yeah, power, So my earliest memory of what I call unsolicited blackness came in the 80s. I was in high school, minding my business. There was a song on the radio, you may remember, some of you old enough, called Supersonic. It was this, hot song, JJ Fad, and I'm at the mall in Jersey, Livingston Mall, in the food court, minding my business, and this white girl hops in my face, and there's a part of the song where it's just gibberish. And she hops in my face, and she's just like, hamalama, dumalama, simalama, hamalama, hamalama, samalama, gamala. Yeah, that's it. And she like poses, and I stood there for about 27 seconds being rapped at for absolutely no reason. Like, it was some sort of 80s suburban version of getting served. I didn't know what to do. Was I supposed to like rap back at her? Was it a battle? I didn't know. I just wanted to eat my Whopper and go to the fucking Gap. So anyway, so I'm at this retreat, and Heather is like still staring at me, waiting for a response to her little chicken inquiry. And everyone else at the table is like staring down at their little sad bowls of oatmeal and fruit. Like, dude, she's on her own. So I calmly think to myself, if I strangle her, then I'm the angry black guy for the rest of the week. So I just say, why did you ask me about fried chicken? And the other writers at the table are like, don't answer, don't answer that. And Heather leans back like I asked the stupidest question on earth and says, well, you like fried chicken, don't you? Now, I'm not sure, but I think I blacked out for like 2 seconds. But when I came to, it was like white rage. Like, all the writers were on Heather's ass. Like, that is so fucking rude. Why are you asking him about chicken? It's not cool. And they were like in her face. And she seemed really surprised by their response. And she just says, what's the big deal? I'm just talking. Italians eat spaghetti. Mexicans eat tacos, and she just points to me like, like, what is going on with her? So then I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I don't want to go to jail, but I mean, she probably thinks I've already been, so I dig deep, and I'm still trying to take the high road, and I say, don't you think there's a problem with you asking me about chicken? I'm not angry, but don't you see the problem? So then one of the white girls at the table who was defending me got mad at me. That's bullshit. You are angry. And then they got on my ass about not being angry enough. Like, they were like, be a black man, tell her how you feel. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was at the mall again being rapped at. It's like, I had no intentions of having the Million Man March when I came down to have breakfast. A brother can't even lay his burdens down when he eats granola. And here's the thing. I love fried chicken, right? So if there was like a list like of things I love, my mom, maybe number 2, my mother's fried chicken, right? But just don't walk up to me and offer me a recipe. Like, just don't ask for what spices I use. Just don't walk up randomly. And this is why I sat in the empty part of the cafeteria in the first place. So, and here's a secret, everybody. Here's why all the black people you work with disappear at lunchtime at work. They don't want to be bothered. It's too much work sometimes to just be sitting there. And after about 10 minutes of Heather getting railed on for being possibly racist, and then me for not responding to racism appropriately, Heather finally says, look, I didn't mean anything, maybe I was being racist. We're all a little bit racist sometimes, so we're cool? And I'm like, I think that was an apology, I don't know, but I'm famished, I haven't eaten breakfast, we've been sitting there for 30 minutes, so she extends her hands to me. I go to shake her hand, she leans in and she smiles and she says, and I'll make sure not to ask you about watermelon. Good night.